This is the godfather of punk, Lou Reed. This is Herbie Flowers, who played the most famous bass line in rock history. He also wrote the song that brought infamy to our number 5 entry.
I've been sitting here all day, thinking, same old thing.
If somebody came up and said, oh, you played on Walk on the Wild Side, I'd say yes, and if they say something nice, I'm really grateful. If someone comes up and says, you wrote Grandad, didn't you? Yeah.
The Grandad in question was the prematurely aged Clive Dunn, best known as bemused geriatric butcher Corporal Jones in Dad's Army.
I was called to do Ronnie Corbett's This Is Your Life, and David Frost invited us all to Quaglino's for a dinner afterwards, for Ronnie Corbett's honour and all that stuff. And I sat at a table with, next but one to me, was a chap who introduced himself as Herbie Flowers.
I met Clive Dunn in a fish and chip shop in Barnes, and he said, oh, you're that session bass player, aren't you?
From these confused beginnings, Dunn and Flowers hatched a scheme to inflict a maudlin pop masterpiece upon the world. All they needed was a maudlin pop masterpiece.
5 hours work I spent on this, and I got stuck. So I phoned Ken Pickett up, who's a songwriting friend, and said, if you come round now, we can finish the song off. So he came round and he pressed my doorbell. Grandad.
Though no stranger to the music biz, Clive wasn't hip to the crazy new street lingo.
Herbie said to me, I think we've got a monster here, Clive. And I didn't know anything about the pop world, and I said, I'm awfully sorry, and I'd sung it as best as I could, you know. He said, no, a monster, it's good. So I said, what do you mean good? He said, well, you know. I said, oh, very nice. I said, how much?
The fledgling monster climbed King Kong style to the top of the chart. But then the lights went out.
There was a power strike. So the factory at EMI were making all the records out at Hayes, couldn't make any records, and suddenly it wasn't selling any because they hadn't got any records to sell.
Don't panic! Don't panic!
I was more worried about the political side of it, that people were obviously not getting paid properly, and they had to go to the lengths of going on strike, you know, in the autumn, when everybody wants trying to make some money for Christmas. So I was interested in from a political point of view. I thought, well, we should give them some more money.
Aeroplanes tied up with string, flying.
But even the might of the trade unions couldn't keep Grandad from reaching number 1 in January 1971. Dunn, only 50, was now typecast as the nation's favourite Grandad, if not their favourite recording artist.
I've never really lived it down. My career skidded to a halt. I lost all my cred. And this is, over a quarter of a century ago, and I'm still trying to get it back.
It's like getting shots fired at you from a crooked rifle. They go, you know, everyone's got to make a living, even critics.
People will rush to, they'll rush home to watch Dad's Army, but they won't, if they hear Grandad on the radio, they won't turn it up. Stupid boy. We didn't make a lot of money out of it, because the way you make a lot of money in the business is to write a huge hit that 20 people do covers of, and like Frank Sinatra or Barbra Streisand or people like that. Who's going to cover Grandad?
There may not have been a cue to cover Grandad, but artistic jealousy exists even in the really annoying top 10.
I got one letter from a guy who said, I hear Grandad many, many times on the radio. He said, and I wrote it. And if you sing it again without my permission, I will kill you. Yours sincerely.
Perhaps mindful of possible assassination, Flowers hid himself in the backing bands of Shirley Bassey, Mark Bolan, Paul McCartney and David Bowie.
Working for David Bowie and working for Clive Dunn, there's not really much difference because my job's to go, boom, ground control to major, boom, tom, and so the odd bit of that, and boy, I've been sitting here all day. It's no different.
Grandad, Grandad, you're lovely. Very simple, like a nursery rhyme.